doesn't speak English, for one, so he speaks a little bit of English, but it's very difficult to speak to a encyclopedia in boxing who speaks fluent English when you speak broken English. So I don't think you're ever going to get a foreigner sitting up here with me. You get any American, any British fighter I've ever fought in nearly 20 years as boxing, no one has ever competed with me on speaking, so especially not some foreign man who speaks broken English. As for all the stuff the camp said and all that, you know, this is show business, this is entertainment, this is everything. So if they don't talk about what's going on, then people lose interest and yada yada yada. So they've got to talk shit. It's a must. If you don't talk smack in this game, you ain't going to make it. There's a heavyweight in here, yeah, who's on his rise. And my advice to him is talk tons of smack the whole way. That's how people notice you. And then, when they notice you, then you can show them your skills and do what you got to do. And that's how it's done. And as for like all of Usyk's team, they're all lovely, decent people, I think. I saw his manager over in Saudi recently. I was just having a bit of fun with him, but I've shook his hand, and he's a nice fella, you know. He's doing the best he can for his man. Which, you know, Frank, Spencer, all my team are doing the best they can for their man. So, and if you don't do the best for your man, then you're a pretty shit manager or promoter. That's what I'd say. But as for like, I've seen some stuff in the media like this is really personal between me and Alexander Usyk. This is not. It's not personal. It's strictly business for both fighters. You know, there's a lot of stuff on the line and all that. But I don't hate him. He don't hate me. He's a good husband, good God-fearing man, so I respect him as a man, as a fighter. He's undisputed cruiserweight champion. He's unified heavyweight champion, so anyone would have to respect the man's achievements. Good fighter, you know. I've got a tough challenge in front of me, but I'm very confident in my ability, and I'm very confident that I'll beat the guy. But that's not to say he's shit just because he loses to me. Like, you know, everybody I ever beat before, even long-reigning lineal champions like Vladimir Klitschko, after I beat him, everyone said, oh, he's a piece of shit, him. Wilder, all of these guys who I ever beat, they were all shit after I beat them. So please don't say that Alexander Usyk's shit after I beat him, because he's not. He's a unified heavyweight champion, undisputed cruiserweight champion. But my personal opinion is we have weight divisions for a reason, and me being an encyclopedia on boxing, and I've studied every heavyweight cruiserweight that's ever lived, when the cruiserweights step up to the big boys, usually they get found wanting. And even the greatest cruiserweights that's ever lived, Evander Holyfield, when he stepped up to the big boys and beat Daddy Bo Lennox Lewis, he was found wanting. You can beat the average big ones, but you can't beat the elite big ones, because size really matters. And we have weight divisions for a reason. And he's going to be found wanting when he fights me on May the 18th. Even if you look at David Hay, he was an explosive, good cruiserweight and good heavyweight. And when he fought average heavyweights, he could beat them. But when he stepped up to the big boy in Klitschko, it wasn't really a contest. We look at Thomas Adamek. He was a good light heavyweight, good cruiserweight. He beat some good average heavyweights, good world contender heavyweights, stepped up to the big boys, beat. So I expect the same from Alexander, to be fair. Who was the other one? Sultan Ibragimov. He was Olympic silver medalist. He was 20-0. He was world... I think he beat Shannon Briggs for the world championship. And he was found wanting against Vladimir Klitschko at Madison Square Garden. So I could just keep going on and on and on and on. Let's use Johnny Nelson, for instance. Johnny was he was an undefeated cruiserweight when he was cruiserweight, but every time he stepped up heavyweight, he got bashed. So there is... It's facts. It's facts. I'm not slagging anybody off, but what I'm saying is these are facts. And if anybody wants to go check my boxing history, go do it. I've studied this game all my life, and you cannot prove it wrong. This is my time, my destiny, my era, and my generation. Facts.
Let's talk a little bit of tactics. Let's bring in Sugar Hill here. Sugar, from your perspective, the other heavyweights who have tried to beat Alexander Usyk, Daniel Dubois, Anthony Joshua, Derek Chisora, Chaz Witherspoon, all of these guys...
Limited ability.
But what did they do wrong?
Limited.
What did they do wrong?
Ability. They tried the best with their own ability, but it's very limited, and Sugar will take over.
There's not really much for me to say with Tyson, knowing it all. So, no, but just listen, Alexander Usyk, like Tyson said, is a great champion. cruiserweight. He's won all these fights in his life. And a lot of it is due to his athleticism and things of that nature. But he can think, so he's able to outthink these guys. Whereas they may come in and think one or two things, he's thinking 3 and 4. So Tyson is the same way. Tyson's thinking 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So it's one of those chess matches. But I definitely agree with Tyson. He's the bigger man. The bigger skilled man, and you have a smaller man with those same skills, or we'll just say with the same skills, and that big man's going to win all day, yeah.
And also, look, everybody underestimates Tyson's punching power. Everybody, I don't understand why. I mean,
I don't know about everybody. Wilder don't, does he?
No, but I'm talking about, you talk about a lot of people, and they just don't seem to understand it. And you're right, everybody who does get stepped in the ring, they find out about it. There's no doubt about that. And I think that's going to be another telling point in this fight, a big telling point for him.
I've got a fun fact. Everybody who was supposed to be a non-puncher in my career has given me trouble. And everybody who was supposed to be a dynamite puncher have been all right against. So I better fucking watch me boots, Anna here, because he's noted as a total non-puncher, but I've been put over by a few non-punchers, Dad, haven't I? Noted non-punchers have put me over before, but the big uns, the big punchers in history, I've been found wanting to keep me nailed down. So that's a little bit of a fun fact for everybody.
Another fact, a non-puncher's a very durable man as well. He definitely got cast
That's a
iron.
fact, that's a fact. And he's definitely a tough man, isn't he?
Big puncher, weak jaw. Don't take it as well.
Yeah.
You know what? Check your facts.
Well, Big John suggesting that Usyk has potentially a weak jaw. Frank?
No.
No?
You need to get your facts right too. He's got a cast iron jaw.
Yep.
All that. No, but if he's a big puncher, look, Nigel Benn.
Yeah.
Weak round the tash, all the big ones. Who's the other one?
There's been loads of them, haven't there?
Loads
Been loads.
And I put that too. They're putting that much effort into knocking someone out. Leave themselves open to a counter, crack. Where the man who don't punch as much is using his boxing and moving, and he's not leaving himself wide open to getting knocked out.
Exactly.
Frank, you've talked about an Achilles heel for Alexander Usyk as well. Do you want to tell us more about that?
No, I've sort of looked at a lot of his fights going back to the amateur days, and he is a bit of a crybaby when it comes to getting caught to the body. He cries to the referee a lot, and for me that always was, if you want to use the phrase, an Achilles heel or an Achilles body. That's what it is, and he doesn't like it.
Factual that is as well, because the only time he's been put over is with body shots.
Yeah.
Betebiev dropped him with a body shot, and I think it was the Polish guy. What was the Polish cruiserweight called? Was he called Goblacki or something like that? Something like that. I think he dropped him with a body shot as well.
Yeah.
So Frank's definitely correct there.
And I've sort of looked at that, and I looked at that before we made the fight with Dubois, and Dubois definitely hurt him to the body. Irrespective of what went on, he doesn't like it to the body, that's for sure. And for me, the biggest exponent of exploiting a boxer's weakness is the professor here, and that's what he does. He finds that if anybody's going to exploit it, it'll be Tyson. He's got the mental capacity to do that and keep doing what he has to do. And I know. People have asked about predictions. I genuinely believe that Tyson will win this fight in an explosive style.